Good morning. You're watching Sunday Mornings with Roy. This is my first one, so this is kind of interesting. We'll see what we can do to get through it. Try to record a bunch of videos and get a little cut up in the 3 steps for this and 5 principles for that, or what's my hook, what's my intro to get you going, how do I get you to hang on through the video and to watch the next one. And that's all a little bit overwhelming and intimidating, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So I decided today I'm just going to make a video and we'll see what happens. I've got some ideas of where I want to go with it, so I'm not completely directionless, and I kind of have some general thoughts on what I want to do with this channel, but I've been putting off getting started, trying to get things, just right. And that's just not working out. So I'm just going to get started. I have thoughts of this being sort of a Sunday morning live, going live at 6:45. At least that's where I'm at with it in my mind. I believe we need like 50 subscribers, and I have, I believe to date, it is 0, since this is my first video. So perhaps this will be a live thing at some point. We'll see what happens. So what I wanted to do was kind of start off what my Sundays look like. And this is really kind of new. I've been doing a lot of this, but I'm trying to make it a little more formally structured part of my Sunday morning. Sometimes I do it Sunday morning. Sometimes I do it other mornings. Sometimes I do it in the afternoon. Sometimes, it's a mix of a few things that I do hit every week, multiple times, but thought that we'd do some sort of morning practice and maybe do some of it together. Perhaps there'll be some different reflections that come up that I'll share, but kind of just being in the habit of having the morning routine. I see a lot of videos online about, completely different things from week to week, which is great. You can learn a lot. But sometimes where I've struggled is I'm just not good with following through with the simple routine sometimes, unless I really buckle down and do that, and always looking for the next, what's the next thing that I can learn, as opposed to just doing a few simple things that I can manage and get into the routine. And as I've done more of that, kind of just building on simple practices and techniques that I just stick with, I've seen a lot more progress, and for me, my life has really improved a bit. And so there may be new insights or thoughts and things that come up in my practice that I share. And today we'll kind of just go through it, some of it anyway, together, and I'll tell you about some of it I've already done maybe. So exactly the format might look different. I may just share, hey, this is what I did, and here's something I want to share about it. By the way, hey, did you remember to do this thing or that thing? But we'll kind of go through it today. So the first thing that I started with, and some people have some problems with the word I'm probably about to use. I think it's a great sort of vague word that doesn't nail down any particular belief or set of practices, but if you have a very specific practice, that you might not like the word. If you don't, you still might think that this word connotates some practice that you've had some problems with. Try not to let that get you. So it's a spiritual practice. I don't care what you do. I'm not trying to put my beliefs or any certain beliefs on you. It's just there's a lot of sort of, I don't know, comfort, direction, hope, getting outside of oneself, all kinds of things that can kind of come up, just even time for just reflection, through spiritual practice. So could be some sort of prayers, could be some sort of daily reflections, or you're, just reflecting on the day and what you're hoping to get done, but really kind of thinking about it and putting some effort into it. Mental effort, right? Sitting, thinking, reflecting, in a sort of productive way. Maybe not worry. Maybe not, oh, I can't do this or can't do that, but like, here's what I want to get done for the day. Could be that. Could be a simple practical thing. Um, could be more religious based if you have a certain practice that you do. It could be um, reading. Could be reading a spiritual text. I don't know. Read a poetry book. Read. There's a lot of sort of daily um, devotion or daily meditations, right? A meditation practice could be really helpful. Helpful. I don't know if I was going for helpful and healthy and combine that one, or what that was supposed to be. So uh, I spent some time doing that a little bit already. I'm just not going to share specifically exactly what I do for that, because that's not, that practice is very useful, but the point of this video and my YouTube channel is not to preach a certain uh, belief system on you. So at least for now, I'm not going to do that, but have some kind of a spiritual practice and time in the morning for reflecting on the day to come. So the next thing is a little bit of breath work. Sometimes we have pretty poor uh, breathing, pretty poor posture. Um, that's problematic, right? Just from a physical standpoint, if you're not getting all the good air in and all the old air out, just through your breathing habits and a poor posture that's not allowing for good breath, physically it doesn't work. Um, our mind and body kind of work together to get signals coming in and assessing whether there's a threat or not. And if I'm taking short, shallow breaths, well, that sort of seems physically like I'm not safe, right? So if you struggle with anxiety and things like that, the breath work can help, because if I'm taking nice full breaths, that sort of feels like I'm more safe. Apparently, something like 80% of the communication between that brain and the sort of especially the survival instinct, right? That kicks on when we're afraid or anxious or worried. Um, the communication kind of goes both ways, but like 80% of it is bottom up, right? Meaning if I can get my body to respond uh, to being safe and feeling safe and breathing fully like I'm safe, right? That will help kind of calm down and ease anxiety and fear, and just get us more in the moment. So breathing is helpful physically. Helps to ground us, helps us to be more in the moment. And if I'm in the moment, I'm safe usually. I mean, well, things do go wrong, but I might be sitting here worried about things that could go wrong, right? And they're not happening now. Right now, I'm pretty safe, pretty okay, right, in my surroundings. Nothing's coming to get me. Um, and so if I'm just here in the moment and not in my head about what could happen and overthinking it, I'm pretty safe. So the breath work helps get me in this moment. And there's a lot of techniques. There's some things that I use in particular when I'm really struggling, but just for today, for a simple morning routine, just breathe. Sit up straight, have my shoulders back. And what I really want is to be breathing from the diaphragm, right? It should feel like my belly and my ribs are expanding a bit. Feel like I'm pulling the air into my belly, which is not really what's happening, but it kind of looks and feels that way if my diaphragm is working and not just shallow breaths from the chest. So, and I'm just going to take a few breaths, try it out, see what happens. Some people say all in through the nose and out through the nose. And others say in through the nose, out through the mouth. Do what works for you. You may close your eyes. You may open your eyes. Do this any way that's most comfortable. I'm going to take one more good breath. If you need more time, pause the video and spend some more time breathing. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my journal, and I'm going to journal. I have some specific things I want to put in here, but I could also journal about my spiritual practice. I spent some time reading this today, and here's what I thought about it. Here's what I learned. Here's questions I have. It could be, here's my prayer. Here's my, my thoughts for the day. Here's what I want to say about it. You could write about your breath work. I did some breathing today, and I feel more grounded or more present, or whatever it is. You could include some of that. But the other specific things that I want to include is going to be gratitude, right? And so I keep these journals with me. I doodle in them, and I write in them, and I do things that help me to practice being mindful in them. So they're kind of a daily, hopefully daily practice. I don't put that much pressure on myself to use it daily, because in the past I've been poor with that. The less pressure I put on myself, it seems, the more I use it. We might talk sometime in a future video more specifically about the journal and kind of how I went from being a person who wanted to journal and tried to do it very well and structured and had never completed one until a couple years ago, because I would give up on it and be frustrated. And so, don't make this a big to-do. If you're a journaler and you're at it every day and that's your thing, then that's great, right? Do it every day and make that work for you. If you're the kind of person who wants to journal and you've got a bunch of them that you've started and given up on and been frustrated with yourself, stop trying to be that kind of person and be the kind of person you are, and embrace that a little bit more, which means journal today with me if you've got a notebook handy, or a journal. Pick it up and add an entry in for today. And if you think about using it through the week, that's okay. Use it. If you don't, that's okay. Come back and see me next Sunday, and we'll journal in it again. And if you don't, that's okay. But whenever you do get around to it and think of it, pick it up and use it. Don't give up on it just because you're not using it every day consistently. The way we build a consistency is make it a safe place. The journal's your place to be you and to express your feelings. And if that becomes a place that's not safe to go to, you're not going to use it, right? So use it when you can. And if you don't, that's all right. And if you struggle with that, stick around. Maybe subscribe to the channel, follow. We'll definitely get to a point where I talk a little bit about the journaling and how it made that work a little better for me. Or you could even just think through this stuff today. I like putting it in the journal. I would recommend it, but if you don't have a notebook handy or a journal or something, just sit and spend some time thinking through it. So the number one thing that I'm going to put in here is gratitude. And I have gratitude pages in all my journals too, but I'm going to be a little more specific and write down on the page I'm at today what I'm grateful for. But if I'm struggling, and I'm having some hard times with it, and I've got a crappy attitude, I can go right to the front of my book and look at some of the things I've already written in there. But this week, I've been focusing lately a little more on trying to get my body moving and exercising, and that's a great morning routine. But today's more of a rest day for me, so I'm not going to include that into the Sunday morning routine for me. You may, but The point I bring that up is with gratitude is I'm grateful that my body is keeping up. I pushed it a little too much, which didn't really seem like much, but as we get a little bit older, we can't do what we used to do, right? And I bought a new pair of shoes, and I wanted to spend some time and try and jog a bit, and I kind of pulled my hamstring pretty good a couple weeks ago, and I took a couple of days off, and I mean, I think that was good. That was needed, but like I said with the journaling, don't put the pressure on yourself. Just do something when you can. I kind of decided to add that to the working out, right? I'll do what I can when I can. So I took the couple of days off, and then I went to walking, and I thought, well, I can't jog, but I can walk. And so I did that. And I've loosened up a bit. Some of the aches and pains, I mean, I've still got aches and pains, but they're just normal from, if you do this kind of stuff, it's gonna happen, especially as you're older. But I was walking all over the place yesterday, and even jogged a little bit. I was really grateful that my body was able to keep up with that, and I kind of made it a deal, right? You keep working for me and doing this, and I'll try and be a little more sensitive to when there's actually a problem, right? Instead of pulling something, and I'm sure that could still happen, but I was really trying to be careful with it, but get some more time in, and I was doing pretty good. I'd run a bit, I'd walk a bit. What I call running anyway. I don't know if it passes as running, but I would jog. There was light poles, and I would jog one, I'd walk, run, jog one, walk one, and then I jogged two, and I walked one, two, and walked one, and then I got to three. And somewhere after quite a few rounds of that, I started feeling just a little twinge, a little pull in my leg. So I knocked it off. I went back to walking and honored my agreement that I had made with myself. And it was more than I thought I would be able to do after a couple of weeks of kind of struggling with my leg. And if I pay attention to myself and my body, and don't neglect it, and don't push it too far, it's more than willing to put in a lot of effort, and I'm grateful for that. I wish, sometimes I wish that I would have the body I had when I was 19 or 20, which maybe we all kind of do, unless you've already done some rebuilding and you've been spending a lot of time with this working out, and I'm hoping I'll be in a little better shape than I was, but the aches and pains and the hurts and the not being able to do the things in the way that we used to. I used to run a bunch and put a bunch of miles on, and even when I have tried to get back to that, I'm quite a bit slower, even when I'm working out a bit with it, than I used to be, and that just happens. That's okay. So I'm grateful that my body's holding up, and the more that I seem to honor my agreements with it and do the things I'm supposed to do, it's willing to put the effort in, even in spite of the aches and pains. So I'm happy for that. I'm happy for grateful for my wife, who puts up with all my nonsense, and maybe not always, but she'll let me know. But she's here, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that my life is going the way it is. It's not all perfect. I got stuff to work through, personally, and just life stuff. I have not arrived at it at this moment in life, whatever that means, but life is going better than it ever has, I think, for me. And it takes a lot of work. And hopefully it seems like I'm getting a little more able and willing to put in the work that it takes to do that. And so I'm grateful for that. The other thing is, with my journaling today, and on Sundays, I try to do this periodically, but I'm going to make a point to do it on Sundays with you all, is to kind of check in with how I'm feeling, right? And so get your gratitudes down, and then take a notice take a moment to notice how you're feeling. Sometimes we overlook that, and it's just not good to be that detached from what's going on, right? Sometimes I've got some good things going on, and I don't recognize it. It just sort of sits under the surface. Sometimes I've got some anxieties and things going on that if I would just notice them, I could do some breath work. I could do some things that would help calm it down and ease it. Other times we've got bigger issues going on that we just push under the surface, and you may have noticed that comes back to bite you in the rear end. That shoving it down and not dealing with it just never goes well in the long run, right? It just doesn't go away. That's why we call it pushing it down or putting it in a box. We don't call it getting rid of it, right? It's there. It's somewhere deep inside, kind of festering and causing us problems. So sometimes we can get hints of that with our body too, physically. What's going on? If I notice I'm always tense and sore through here, but I haven't done anything really to have a problem with that. It's like I sometimes would go for like months with that. How you feel? Man, my neck's really sore. I must have slept on it wrong. Really? 3 months ago? I don't know. I might have a little bit of stress and tension and anxiety. Maybe. And so checking in physically too. And so you might journal about that. Like today, I start emotionally often because I feel like I'm connecting the dots between the emotional and the physical better. You might start with the physical, right? You might I notice I'm carrying tension, but I'm going to start emotional because that's just how I do it. That's where I'm at now. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling hopeful that I'm going to have a good day because I'm setting out to have a good day. I'm starting it right. I'm doing the things I'm supposed to. I've got some good things on my schedule and some rest on my schedule as well. So I've got some hope. I've got some happiness and joy. I'm happy to be up here this morning early, doing this in my journal and sharing it with you and just doing my practice. I feel good about that, right? I have probably some fear, right? Being on the camera is still a little bit weird, even though I've recorded videos. I haven't got them the way I want them. And, I'm definitely going to post this one, and I'm probably going to get it on soon because that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to go live, but apparently, makes sense. You got to have an audience for that. But I was going to do it anyway if it let me, just to be in the routine of it. But I'm going to get this up probably unedited just to have it going, and I'll try and learn as I go, and I may incorporate some more editing, or maybe I'll just get better at dealing with it and have a better structure, so I won't have to worry too much about it. But I'm got a little worry about that, little anxiety, putting myself out there, even for the things that go well, right? To sort of being seen, and I don't suppose my first video of me just kind of rambling and trying to figure it out will go viral, but I mean, I think people want to get on here and hope for the viral videos, and I don't necessarily have a hope for that. In fact, I'm a little bit, I don't want that necessarily, right? I would like to make some kind of an impact and have an audience, but it kind of freaks me out thinking about going viral. So, I mean, I don't think that'll happen today, but certainly just being seen and putting yourself out there sometimes can be stressful, or certainly is for me. So that's kind of what I've got going on. And overall, though, pretty relaxed. Doing the breathing, doing the journaling, doing my morning practice. Even though I'm thinking of some of that anxiety and stress that comes up with doing the video, I'm not really feeling too much of it physically. I do have a little bit of tension I'm feeling in my shoulders here, and a little bit of soreness all around, just because I probably walked around and then did the jogging too, probably a total of about 8 miles yesterday. And a few weeks ago, it was, none, other than maybe a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile here and there to get somewhere and get out and get a little fresh air and walk around the block some. But so some of the soreness and aches and pains, I think, is pretty normal. for what's going on, but I'm noticing it a little bit in the chest, a little bit in my abs, a little tension in my legs from all the strain I've been putting on them. And so you can think through that and just work through that process, but you could write about it in your journal too. Today, here's how I'm feeling. That could be interesting, right? To have a record over several, over days or weeks, how your mood has changed. If you were to do it pretty regular, I think you would notice that when things come up, you're able to work through them. So while I can't really change the mood that hits me all of a sudden, right? Like the emotion and the feeling that I'm just having right now, I can't really change that, or any thoughts associated with it. But if I work through it and deal with it in the long run, it gets a lot better, right? And that might be interesting to track if you've got a journal. Oh, I noticed I was, depressed and sad and anxious a bunch when I started. And I noticed that I've got more days now where there's some hope or happiness or peace or whatever going on. Takes time to start to see that results, but it's worth doing. So my intention for the day, to maybe put an intention for the day or week in your journal. Mine is going to be just for the day. Going for the day is to get this video up. Spend some time with my wife. Do some of our what's on our schedule together. After we get done with our morning routine, we're going to have some good food. We're going to prep some food for the week, so that we can get to some walking and some time at the gym a little easier, because we both work kind of long days, but hers is a little bit longer, so it's nice to be able to eat pretty quick and get out the door and do what you got to do. So we're going to prep all of that today. Clean up a little bit around the house and then enjoy the day. Really kind of make it a low stress day of relaxation before the week starts. So that's kind of where I'm at with my intention for the day. So hopefully that's helpful. Like I said, the format and it may change a bit, and I may learn a little bit from this. And if we get some subscribers going, I might start doing this live. I had made a note that maybe starting at 6:45. That could change, but that's about when I started the video. That was my intention, was to get something up at 6:45 or started at 6:45. So I suppose that time could change in the future, but that's what I'm thinking at this point. And I may have some more specific things that I want to discuss on a Sunday. But I intend to kind of check in with the morning routine, right? Maybe share a little bit about what I had done and then what I want to talk about. Or maybe we'll work through it. Maybe we'll do some different breath work and breathing techniques and different types of things to journal. If you're into that, these are the things that I'm kind of wanting to start with on a Sunday morning, but might be other things. Hey, I'm going to write in my journal about this or that. What do you have to say about that? Right? We might expand a little in the journaling. I don't know yet. We'll see. Leave in the comments if you happen to come across this video, what you'd like to see from it. How about also, if you're watching, put in the comments two things that you're grateful for today. The gratitude can be really small too. Sometimes I've had days where I'm struggling and there's stuff there, but it's hard to see it, right? It's hard to see the lessons. It's hard to see the good, when you're really kind of for me, just often in a negative sort of a mindset. Sometimes things are not going well, but often it's more my attitude, but it's still hard to see it, right? I'm about to be grateful for the sunset. That's going to happen because I'm gonna get outside and get some fresh air and see the sun, and I'm just happy for that. I'm happy for a little peace and quiet. I don't usually get up super early, and just to have some time to just sit and reflect for myself is nice. I've been doing a little more of that, and that's enjoyable. And so I'm grateful for the time that I've been able to make to just kind of get my day started off, other than rolling out of bed and being groggy and running through it. Um, the lights and the decorations. It kind of sets a nice mood. I hope it works well for the video. I think it probably does. But it's nice. It's nice to sit here and just enjoy the way the house looks with the decorations. So simple things. I'm glad I'm able to sit here and take a full breath and start my day off well. So, what are you grateful for? Leave it in the comments. Um, check back next week. I don't know how long it'll take to get these up, but I'm intending, if that's my intention for the next week, then I suppose that I can put in my journal, intending to get one up on next Sunday as well. I'll start probably about the same time frame, and so it'll be up sometime after that. Have a great day. Have a great week.